All right, folks, good afternoon. Let's go ahead and get airborne with our Analyze Your Trade session. Getting close to our live event here down in Boca Raton, and going to be a good time today. As we've had a couple times this week, a lot of my financial partners or their lists they've emailed to just because of how we've been doing lately here at Top Gun Options. So I'm going to welcome the 150, nearly 200 people who aren't current TGO members. I've opened up our regular Analyze Your Trade session so you guys can see what we do here at Top Gun Options. But real quick, guys, if you don't know, 13 years ago today, Operation Red Wing, one of the biggest tragedy of Navy SEALs. Obviously, there was a different, the largest loss of life of Navy SEALs. But if you haven't seen the movie or read the book, Lone Survivor, I'd say you're a below average American, and I mean that with every sense of my fiber. 4 U.S. Navy SEALs were inserted into the Kunar province, the rugged mountains, to put under surveillance and maybe try and kill Ahmad Shah. And as many of you know, 3 of them were killed in withering gunfire. Lieutenant Mike Murphy there on the left tried to radio for rescue. It was tough in the mountain terrain. And Lieutenant Commander Eric Christensen got a rescue team together and hopped on an Army helicopter that was called Turbine 33. So Turbine 33, as they were close to maybe rescuing the lone survivor, Marcus Luttrell. I've met Marcus on the speaking circuit, one of the greatest Americans I've ever met. And it was hit by an RPG. So 19 Americans were killed 13 years ago. And it's pretty brutal. You know, watching the discourse that's going on in politics, whether it's the stuff at the border, oh my God, a Supreme Court justice died, or we're going to harass people in the administration and get in their face. You just need to throttle the hell back, folks. And on a day like today, you need to remember that there are phenomenal women and men out on the tip of the spear that are willing to pay the ultimate sacrifice so you can act like a jackass in this country. And real quick, heads up, if you're new to TGO, you're not into politics or anything I just said offended you, do me a favor and leave now because you're not going to have a good time today. So Operation Red Wing, 13 years ago today. That's Michael Murphy and the United States Navy. He was awarded the Medal of Honor. And that's the USS Michael Murphy right there. So we always take time on days like today to remember why we're free. If you want to read a little bit more about that, I'll put our Facebook page in the chat box. Can't see the picture. You should be able to see everything. Let me paste that in here. Sorry. Yeah, it's so there you go. Danny Dietz, Marcus Luttrell. Mike Murphy. There's the most of the team there. There's the 19 men lost in Operation Red Wing coming home. This is another reason this whole bullshit taking a knee. Unless you've risked your life to come home under that flag, you better not damn well take a knee for it. So, yeah, Luttrell was from Bozeman. That's great. So that's Mike Murphy right there. That's the USS Mike Murphy. Turbine 33, bunch of great Army aircrew members who passed trying to rescue some Navy SEALs. So especially down here in South Florida, you know, people get caught up in all the crap down here, and it just, you know, sometimes we need to get centered. David, no, we're not going to stream our event. So just a heads up that Saturday down here in God's Waiting Room down in Boca, we're going to have our trader conference. Really looking forward to it. I know I already met with Fish yesterday. You guys know Fish. Fish is a great American. He got his lifetime membership. He got his lifetime membership at a significant discount because he's been here for 6 years. So there's where's my buddy Fish? Fish has got to be one of the tallest human beings I've ever seen in my entire life. There he is. Couldn't even put his legs underneath the damn table. So we had breakfast yesterday at the OB house down in Fort Lauderdale, and Fish brought some. This is why I hooked him up with his lifetime discount, man. He came bearing gifts. So, Fish, welcome aboard. Hopefully you had a good time down there in Fort Lauderdale. And I'm getting ready to send an email out to all the folks that will be here tomorrow. We're going to try and meet for maybe just a quick happy hour tomorrow night at the Boca Raton Resort, and then we'll do our full day of training. So really fired up for everybody to meet everybody and everything like that. So, yeah, Reg, don't even get me started. It's awful. And the rules of engagement back at the time were pretty bad. You know, when you're more concerned about ending up on CNN as some sort of killer instead of worrying about your own life and everything like that, it's pretty bad. So, Sam, thanks for your service. Tamara, yeah, we do. Yeah, looking forward to talking to you. I'm sorry you can't make it down to the conference, and I hope you feel better. Mike, thank you for your family service. It is much appreciated. It just on days like today, you know, when you remember an Operation Red Wing and you just turn on the TV and see people screaming in everybody's face because they don't disagree with you politically, it just makes me, I don't know, man. I'm getting a little worried for this country. Okay, so that's enough about that. The Boca Traders Conference, I'm looking forward to that and seeing some of you guys tomorrow night for cocktails. And we're going to have a good session today. Real quick, like I said, I opened up this brief today. So this is a regular member brief that if you're in here eavesdropping, you're getting ready to see a regular brief here. We got some great trades going on. What about the Death Star, man? Amazon, what the gift that keeps on giving. Tonight we're going to do full throttle session number 4. I think we're going to get into spreads tonight at 7 o'clock. So it's going to be a good session tonight. You bet, Ann. Absolutely. The Boca Trader Conference, like I said, if you're still interested in coming, you can still make it. We still have some room. And I'll meet many of you at the Boca Hotel tomorrow night for cocktails. Lifetime memberships, guys. Fish kind of fills it up. If you haven't been in contact with us, the $15,000 rate is closed. Unless we've been in contact with you and you're securing that, it's 17.5, guys. I know there was some confusion. Unless you've been talking to us and we grandfathered you in at 17.5, the lifetime memberships are now 17.5. I got to be honest with you, when I've amortized it out and done the math, it ain't exactly a super win-win. It's kind of a bigger win for you guys. So it's 17.5 unless you've talked to us, guys, going forward. Okay, so we just got to do that. All right, real quick. Enough of that crap. My name's Matthew Buckley. My call sign's Wiz, folks. Top Gun Options, where'd the name come from? Well, it's pretty easy. I flew the Hornet for about 15 years for the Navy, graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, known as Top Gun, and was also a bad guy pilot. Got to do some pretty cool things in the Navy. I've got to fly in bad guy aircraft over Pakistan, got to fly with the Blue Angels. Was a landing signal officer on the back of the ship when I wasn't flying. So when I wasn't landing an F-18 aboard the boat, that's me with my square haircut on the back of the ship, helping pilots land aboard the ship. I've seen my fair share of bad, and also during my 15 years, I buried 11 of the finest Americans you'll never get a chance to meet. If you've never seen the Persian Gulf, let me show you how big it is. That's Kuwait City. This is Iraq, and that is Iran right there. This is a lake, man. So before the first Gulf War, if you had told a U.S. admiral that you need to sail an aircraft carrying the Persian Gulf, he would have laughed at you. But at one point, we had about 5 carriers in here, I think at the height, including a Brit and maybe a French carrier, I forget. But like we had 5 or 6 carriers in the Gulf at one point, and you could have walked across. There's more steel than there was water. So what are you doing here? Well, I started Top Gun Options about literally we're going on our 8th year in operations, folks. I took everything I learned flying a fighter aircraft and I applied it to my trading, having a strategy, being disciplined. We're going to talk about discipline this week. We had a VIX trade, one-day profit of 78% for $1,500 this week. Put it on Monday, got out of it Tuesday. Why? I said, hey, man, God knows, with my luck, something's going to happen Thursday to freak the market out, and, you could lose money on this trade. What happened Thursday, folks? I hope none of you stayed in that volatility trade and you listened to me because these are my lessons learned, man. You can stand on my shoulders and I will accelerate your experience, okay? Don't do what I do type of thing. My trading results and my business consulting was so good that I actually ended up on the radar of one of the largest volatility arbitrage firms, the Peak 6 Investments, headquartered right here in the Chicago Board of Trade. That's Peak 6. Great time, great company. Love the people of Chicago. Love Chicago. As you can see, there's those big windows I just pointed to. I helped start a hedge fund when I was there. I helped build the retail brokerage known as Options House, and felt like Eddie Murphy in Trading Places. I felt like Valentine, little old retail trader takes on the big time, and it worked incredibly well. I was the managing director of strategy for a $2.5 billion firm, and I was also the founder and CEO of the Options News Network, ONN TV. We were essentially a competitor of CNBC. I mean, John and Pete Najarian do a good job paying lip service to options, and they have Options Action, like Friday at 5:30. I don't know about you, but Friday at 5:30, I'm haze gray and underway with my Captain Morgan. So we actually had a dedicated network, and it was awesome. But I'm not a big winter guy. You visit snow. I go to Aspen, I go to Vail, I go ski. You live in warm, and you live on the beach. So that's why I'm down here in God's waiting room, known as Boca Raton. So actually, when you become a member, I'm going to give you all this stuff, but like I said, I'm going to jump right into our live trade brief because my regular members are in here. It is flattering that really, almost every other day I'm getting a phone call out of the blue by somebody saying, "Hey, can we promote TGO to our folks?" Because I know some of you in here are stock traders or, come from different services. It's flattering because our performance has been so good lately I got buddies who say, "Hey, I want to share this with my folks." So what I'm going to do right now, at the beginning of each one of our trade briefs, we go through what's called an SOT, strategic, operational, and then tactical brief. The strategic brief is, hey man, what's going on around the world? If you don't know what's going on with China, with oil, with Iran, with Saudi Arabia, with North Korea, your portfolio can get wiped out. You have to, if you're a tactical trader, if you just wake up and turn on CNBC and, well, geez, we're talking about Tesla today, maybe I'll trade Tesla. And then the next week you're broke, you deserve to be. You can't be a tactical trader. That's like me throwing a rifle at a Marine in Afghanistan and say, hey, go in that direction. Okay, sir, and do what? Just go in that direction, kill people. That makes no sense, folks. What's the strategy? Hey, win the war in Afghanistan. What's the operational objective? Hold this town. What's your tactical objective? Hold this bridge for the next 2 hours. Strategic, operational, tactical. So I'm going to give you a quick strategic brief about global issues. Then we're going to get operational and talk about what's going on here in the United States. What's up with the Fed? What are Q2 earnings looking like? What's going on with volatility? And then and only then can we get tactical and look at trades. Okay, so I'm going to break you from being that very, very tactical trader. And at the end of today's session, you can take a 2-week test flight into what we do here at TGO. So, yeah, exactly, Brian. Market up, VIX up. So the market's up a little bit right now, and the VIX is up. What's that tell you? This is a hold your nose rally, isn't it? So this is this ain't looking too good. But we'll talk about that. We've had some really, really, really nice trades recently in our Amazon, in our Analyze Your Trade portfolio. We'll look at those in a couple minutes. Okay, unless you've been living on the other side of Mars for the past couple months, this trade war. Here, this really is man bites dog news. Look at this headline in the Journal. China defends its WTO record as trade fight looms. You ready for this? Beijing releases a white paper depicting itself as a defender of global trade. Folks, China has stolen everything. Anybody see what the newest Joint Strike Fighter looks like out of China? It's our Joint Strike Fighter. Remember under Bill Clinton, the submarine technology that he essentially gave them? If it hasn't been nailed down, well, actually, literally, if it's been nailed down, it's been stolen by the Chinese. The PLA, the People's Liberation Army, their 12th floor of this building. Let's Google it. PLA, People's Liberation Army, 12th. I think we actually call it the 12th floor. Where is it? Okay. They're talking about cruises and cruise ships. Folks, the headquarters People's Liberation Army on the 12th floor is cyber attack. It is, it's brutal. They hack into, you ready for this? Here's a quick option story. Back in, 3, 4, 5 years ago, Heinz ketchup. Everybody remember Christina Heinz, right? And John Kerry. I love John Kerry, typical limousine liberal. Does anybody know what state John Kerry lives in or where he was a senator from? Somebody help me out with that. Here's your political rant of the day. Where's John Kerry from? Massachusetts, guys. Absolutely. Does anybody know where he parked his yacht? His like massive, huge yacht. Brian got it. Rhode Island. Literally right across the state from Massachusetts. Down there, he would park his yacht. Why? For taxes. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that a great, that's your typical limousine liberal, man. Yeah, I live in Massachusetts. The taxes suck, but I'm going to park my yacht down there in Newport, Rhode Island, so I don't have to pay, whatever. But here's the deal, folks. That's exactly right, Bob, to avoid his boat taxes. So anyway, but that's how limousine liberals work, right? They roll down their window and go, somebody should help those people. And then they roll the window up and they go to their clubs. And then they stick it to the middle class. Anyway, so folks, here, this is comical that Beijing is making itself look like they're the victim. This trade war, and look at all these ups and downs. Remember, we were in a live trade brief when, remember, it was Putin, Powell, Trump Thursday. Trump broadsided, hey, you know what? 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a trade war. Vladimir Putin held a press conference that said, hey, America, I know you haven't heard from me in a while, but I've developed some really cool weapons that can kill all of you and you'll never know it. And Jerome Powell said we might raise interest rates a little quicker. That was like decision Thursday. What happened to the trade war fears? Oh, they went away, Wiz, and then we renewed them, and then they went away. So nothing's new. Okay? Remember, when you're in a trade war and you're on the losing end, the only thing you can do is win. China's been sticking it to us for decades. Love or hate the man, Donald Trump, all he's trying to do is make trade fair. What the F is wrong with making something fair? How many of you are entrepreneurs or small business owners and would get into deals that make you lose $800 billion a year? It sucks. It's stupid. So anyway, at the end of the day, I think the adults, Steve Mnuchin, Larry Kudlow, are going to get behind closed doors. We will figure something out, okay? That it will get resolved, and it won't be some super bad shit show, okay? So, but how many, and who Steve, nice, very nice, I got your email and support. Steve paid for his lifetime membership with 2 bearish double verticals. He made like 18 grand, he told me, on FXI. I would still, this is where I told you to pound the hell, right there. I said pound the hell out of FXI with bearish double verticals. Anybody else listen to me? This is the gift that keeps on giving. If you don't know FXI, it's the iShares China Large Cap ETF. You're welcome, my friend. And remember, guys, the lifetime membership is transferable to immediate family members. So he's going to try and get his son on board. I said this is not looking good for the FXI. Look at the 6-month chart. Look at the 1-year chart. We are down here at a 1.5 year lows, guys, and it's going lower. The Shanghai has officially entered a bear market. We'll talk about China more in a little bit, but if that's not a trade I'm going to cover today, but that's there's your Uncle Wiz free trade, man. Since I recommended to pound this into the dirt, it's down 11%, and I'd still pound away. All right, but China's on our radar. Oil, folks, this is the energy market. Check this out. The energy market is on top of tech right now. Energy stocks have rallied 12% and are poised for the biggest quarterly gain since 2001. What is our energy trade? That's awesome, man. Tamara, that was the other one I said, Tamara, right? When Schultz turned Starbucks into the world's largest bathroom and needle exchange and then quit 2 weeks later, what did I say to do with Starbucks? Right there, guys. Any idiot CEO who closes down their store and loses $15 million in a couple afternoons and calls it an investment is an idiot. So I said to pound, and look at this. I said this the other day. Double bearish, double vertical, bearish, double vertical. So there's Tamara, our double vertical queen. Let me show everybody what you said. Virginia, I couldn't agree more with your grandmother. So look at what Tamara's doing in Starbucks. When I said pound Starbucks into the dirt, Tamara listened. How many of you would like to make 375% return on your investment? If you don't know what a DV is, a double vertical is, you need to become a member here, because we're going to cover that, I think, about 2 weeks at our Tuesday or Thursday trainings at night. Okay, so okay. So Starbucks, all these limousine liberal companies are imploding under their own hubris and everything like that. Why do short squeezes not hit Starbucks and FXA the way they did? JW, you know why? Because nobody's picking a bottom. JW, short squeeze, everybody is pounding the shit out of this. There's no reason to get long. Starbucks is down another 5% today. There is no bottom in Starbucks, guys. This stock was dead money coming into it. Look at this. It's a running joke. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting a Starbucks. You get a Starbucks, you walk a block, there's another Starbucks. Pound this into the dirt. But I got to get moving because I want to talk about some other trades. And let's stick with energy. So the Saudi Arabia-Russia axis is getting big. These are the two big players in the room. And this cracks me up, man. I love the Trump administration and how they deal with people who say they're our allies and they aren't. U.S. toughens stance on future Iran oil exports. Senior official says any country that imports Iranian oil after November risks sanctions. Do you know who we're talking to? England, France, the Germans, and Angela. Angela's going to lose her job because of her stance on immigrants. She opened borders, and Muslims are taking. It's the reverse crusades, and Germany is in a lot of trouble, folks. So we just shot a shot across the bow of our allies, saying, "Hey, man, you take one drop of oil from Iran after November, you're on our sanctions list." Love him, love the guy or hate the guy, he does what he says he's going to do. The guy's done more in 1 year than Obama did. And what did Obama do for 8 years? My God. Trump doesn't sleep. He doesn't drink or do drugs, unlike Barack Hussein Obama. So this is phenomenal. So the energy sector, guys, and here's this is for new potential members. How did we get into World War II? Current members don't answer because I know we talked about this the other day. Why did Japan attack Pearl Harbor? Let me see some new members answer this stuff. Ray, even without any more immigration, you're exactly right. France will become a majority Muslim country. Paul, Mark, good. Gerald, okay, these are new, some potential new member names. We started, the Japanese started World War II or dragged us in. I went to the Churchill Museum in London and got to listen to some of the recordings between Churchill and FDR. He was begging, dude, help us, man. We're the last island. Well, I'd love to help you. Here's some destroyers. Well, the Japanese came after us because FDR kicked him in the gut about oil. What is going on here? The other day, Saudi Arabia said, don't worry about Iran. Don't worry about any of those sanctions. We will open the spigots. This is a big FU to Iran. So just don't think this is just about oil, guys. This is Saudi Arabia sticking it to Iran. This could result in something military, and we gotta keep this on our radar, guys. And I do, obviously. Okay, so stocks right now, what are we, flat? Dow's up 63. It was down 20. We're just wandering around here. Okay, these are the dog days of summer. Stocks tick higher as investors weigh trade fears. Investors are uncertain of whether talks of tariffs is just a war of words for now. I love when I say stuff and then the 2 weeks, 3 weeks later appears in the Wall Street Journal. We laugh all the time that there's a mole in here. One of our members how many times have I said this over the past couple months? There has been not $1 shot in anger in a trade war. It has all been posturing and words. If you listen to some of the releases or the minutions, it's like, okay, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's 6 months from now. Why? Because we need that 6 months to see if China's going to do something. They fire back. So right now, guys, it's a war of words. It ain't physical. Okay, even though coward companies like Harley Davidson are starting to cry, there's nothing underneath this right now. It's just words. But anyway, guess what? The market reacts to what? Emotions, and the market reacts to words. So where are we on the S&P 500? So let me show you real quick, folks, because we're going to talk about, and you're going to learn a lot of wizisms when you become a member here. The market is up. The VIX is up. Something is up. So something's up today, guys. Volatility is up while the market's up. And I'm going to teach you why. But let's take a look at our weekly options trade from Monday. Take a look at this. This is a trade from Monday afternoon. We did a weekly options live trade brief Monday afternoon. You see it? 25 June, weekly options, new VXX bear call spread. And we debriefed our Amazon and XLE trades from last week. So, ladies and gentlemen, last Friday, an Amazon trade expired for, if you were still in it, a max profit of $2,100. We had an XLE Iron Condor, that's the energy ETF, expire. The Iron Condor went right through the uprights for a max profit of $5,100. How many of you would have loved to have made in that week, what's that, $7,200? And this is on limited risk, folks. Don't sit there and go, well, I was probably on 100 grand. The max risk, if both these trades imploded and went to zero and we lost everything, was 6 grand. We risked about $6,000 total to make $7,200. If you don't think that's a good trade, you're an idiot. You're literally, you don't get math. So, Jan, I'll get there, man. I'm still talking operational, and then we'll get tactical here. But I'm going to be talking about volatility. So here's the VXX trade from Monday, a bear call spread, and I'll teach you. I think tonight we might be talking about spread, or I think it's bullish spreads first. We put on a bear call spread as it popped, right? Volatility popped Monday as the market imploded. PT, absolutely, we give detailed instructions. So what's going to happen, you're going to see this PT in about 15 minutes. When I identify a good trade that I want to trade, in the live trade brief, I send out a text alert. So if you can't be in the live trade brief, if you're sitting at work and death by meeting, you're going to get a text on your nicotine, your electronic nicotine. I can run everything from this phone, folks. I can send out a text alert. I can execute the trade on my broker. I have been sitting in death by meeting and sending out trade alerts and executing them. So not only do I send out a text alert, PT, I take a screenshot of the trade, just like you're seeing on the screen. I took a screenshot of the order ticket, and then I took a screenshot of the risk ticket. Let me scroll down here. So here's the trade from Monday. We were risking $5,500. Where did I come up with that? Ladies and gentlemen, the portfolios I manage are notional $100,000 portfolios. I'm going to teach you that I have an SOP, a standard operating procedure, where I don't want to risk more than 5% on any one trade. Why? That's me. After doing this this is my 26th year of trading options. I came up with this, man. With 100 grand portfolio, I don't want to risk more than 5. Now, if you're sitting there going, Wiz, I don't have 100 grand. Folks, this $5,500 in risk is based on me doing 150 contracts. You're getting the eavesdrop on what I'm doing. Wiz, I don't want to risk more than $2,500. Okay, rocket surgeon, then you do 75. Wiz, I'm a billionaire and I don't mind risking, 10 grand. Okay, Mr. Carnegie, you do 300. I don't care. You get to watch what I'm doing. Okay, so PT, I send out a text alert, and then after I get done the webinar, I send out an email with what? With these screenshots in it of the actual trade, and obviously down at the bottom is the replay from the session. So you get everything, PT. I'll show you how this works in a little bit live. So, okay, so look at this trade. This trade on Tuesday was up $1,500. So out of the potential 2 grand, if you allow me to round up, we were up $1,500. Isn't that incredible? One day, Tuesday. So I sent out a text alert that said, hey, I'm out of this thing. And here's just like, who was it, Eddie Money? Yeah, right? Go on, take the money and run. So Tuesday, we took $1,500 and we had a great week. What did I say Tuesday in our live trade brief? Because somebody said, hey, Wiz, I might hang out in this trade for the rest of the week. I said, dude, with my luck, something bad or something's going to happen between now and Friday. I said, literally, folks, I listened to the recording. I said, for all I know, Thursday, the market's going to freak out about something. Go on, take the money and run. pigs get slaughtered. What happened yesterday? The market freaked the hell out. Steve Miller, that's what it was. Thanks. Thanks, man. So what's going on? Guys, this is the dog days of summer. So we broke the 50-day, stop with the industrials, man. So we broke the 50-day moving average this week. We held it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called a dead cat bounce. That what was it, Tuesday kind of bounce? That was a dead cat bounce, and you could feel it. I will tell you right now, this kind of pullback yesterday, Thursday, was on low volume and low volatility. So low vol times 2. So this isn't, I'm going to tell you right now, this isn't panic selling. This isn't, holy crap, this isn't, it's orderly, okay? I was on the phone today with a couple buddies who think they were still buzzed. They're in the Hamptons, and we were just talking our usual market stuff. We might head back down to we might see a retest of this. When did we do all this kind of buffoonery trading? Q1 earnings. This was the Q1 earnings buffoonery. Everybody remember this? Well, if you don't, my members do. Why? Because I said we're in trouble, man. Right here, I remember this day. I'll remember this day for the rest of my life. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, some other companies came out with the best JP Morgan came out with the best earnings they've ever had since JP Morgan was alive. The financials had never seen such record earnings. What did the market do? It sold off. Here was the Q1 earnings rally, guys. It was in January. The great news out of earnings was pulled forward. Why? Because Q4 earnings, what happened on Q4 earnings calls? Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan. Oh my God, Q4 sucked. Forward look, sunshine, unicorns, and lollipops. My God, we're going to print money. We're giving $1,000 back to all of our employees, the taxes, everything's great. That was this rally, guys. So what happened here? This was have you ever heard the term? This was a sell on the news, right? So if you never know what that meant, this was a buy on the rumor, man. Here's the sell on the news. So what's worrying me? Actually, nothing. I'm like General Mattis. What do you say? What keeps you up at night? Nothing. I keep other people up at night. So I didn't mean to use the word worried, because as an options trader, I really don't give a shit if the market goes up, sideways, or goes down. I'm going to make money no matter what it does. I just showed you 2 bearish positions you could be in, StarBucks and FXI. I pound those things into the dirt. As far as the overall market, I really don't care where it goes. Here's my take. We coming up to Q2 earnings, this is going to be bad. Okay? This is not going to be good. I'm going to warn you that even if Q2 earnings, which kick off what? I forget. Even if they're better than Q1, we're going to see a yawn. I'm telling you, it ain't going to be good. So I think we might go test this 200-day moving average. But again, this is orderly, folks. If it looks violent or you're scared or something like that, you're kind of doing it wrong, or you're not trading wrong, or you are trading wrong. Here's a perfect example. We have a lot of Jan 20 bullish positions on in a couple sectors that even with this type of pullback, we just simply add to our longs. Okay, so we're going to talk about volatility in a couple minutes and take a look at some new trades. We're also going to talk about the Death Star. We got to take a look at existing trades on some existing trades. Hold on. There's some huge Mike, that's a really long question. Let me try and save that to the end. And guys, no offense, when we're in our usual member session, we don't have hundreds and hundreds of people. We keep Top Gun options very small, very tight for a reason, because again, all these massive questions in the chat box, if you remember, I'm going to answer them. But Mike, let me table that one for now. And we also have what's called the Ready Room on our website, where you can ask questions of me, and me and my fellow traders will answer them. Thank you, Tamara, for that. For those of you that are not members, this is the best service I found after a 1.5-year search. You not only get all the wonderful work that Wiz does, you also get the whole group helping you out. That's exactly right. The best deal for your money. We will all help you. That's what's really cool, folks, is in the Ready Room. It's called the Ready Room. The Red Room of the Fighter Squadron is where you hang out before you fly, after you fly. It's like the squadron living room. And you get in here and people ask each other, Raytheon synthetic stocks, short selling calls after assignment, long call diagonals, all sorts of cool stuff. So that's a benefit that I don't tout too often, but Tamara, I appreciate that. That's like the college student union. That's a good way to put it, Mark. Okay, but let's talk about the Death Star right now, guys. Look at this. Why is Amazon up 2% today? Because it's the Death Star. Amazon buys online pharmacy pill pack for $1 billion, which is nothing. Jeff Bezos could find $1 billion in his couch. Isn't that awesome? Retail giant outbid who? Walmart for startup that gives nationwide access to prescription business. Ladies and gentlemen, this thing is taking over the world. In the Analyze Your Trade session on Tuesday that I hosted, people talk like 4 or 5 stocks. Each one of my answers to those was what? Do not be in that stock, be in Amazon. Every live trade brief, I'm going to tell you guys, if you're not in Amazon, you're a fool. Amazon dives deeper into what? Package delivery. 1.5 years ago, I predicted this. I told you that what? What did I tell you a year and a half ago? Amazon is leased, what was it, 5 Airbus aircraft. What did I tell you? This was before, 4 months ago, the president he doesn't drink. The President Trump tweeting about Amazon and it's getting a free ride on the U.S. Postal Service, and those days are over with. I said, Mr. President, you just killed the U.S. Postal Service. It was going to happen anyway, but look at this. Read this headline. Online giant says it has to build its own services to handle the surging number of online orders that what? UPS, FedEx, and the Postal Service can't. I told you this a year and a half ago. It's over with, ladies and gentlemen. Stop getting in these Tuesday afternoon. Literally, the people are like, well, what about AMD or this or that? I'm like, Jeff Bezos is going to wait until all those companies eat each other and buy the best one of them. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. And for those of you that are new, in October, I said what? I said, get out of these limousine liberal stocks. Get out of your Teslas. Get out of your Apples. I didn't have a position in Tesla at the time. I said, get out of Apple and Facebook. They're not going out of business anytime soon, folks. I get it. Trust me. But they're dead money to me compared to, so here's me saying get out of Facebook. Facebook between now and the time I told you to get out is up 16%. Apple, we had some great Apple positions. I think Apple's great. It ain't going out of business, but it's dead money to me. Let's see what Apple did in the time since I said get out of Apple and target all that cash into Amazon. 19%. Amazon, folks. And I will do this every live trade brief until you do it. October? Now. 77%. And I love the idiots that follow me on StockTwits or whatever like that came out of the woodwork like 2 weeks ago on a Facebook pop like, Facebook, how's that bear call spread looking? I'm like, dude, how's your 17 or whatever percent return looking versus the 77% in Amazon? You can stick in your Apple or your Facebook and you're an idiot. If you don't take that capital and put it in Amazon, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's awful. We've had, who's in here? Greg, are you in here? What's your current Amazon? Gains? Last time Greg told us, he listened to me. He had a Jan 19 and a Jan 20 Amazon trade. The man, last time he gave us an update, there's a couple of you. Kevin, aren't you? He was up 150 grand on like an initial, what was it, Greg, 30 or 40? I mean, Christ almighty, guys. So Amazon, let's take a look at, I think we have a current Amazon trade on, right? We have some current Amazon trades. We have a 1,700 bull put spread. Okay. Absolutely not. John, at Netflix, I'm not a Netflix guy. If you want to expose, Wiz, I can't afford Amazon long calls. I have briefed you on this ad nauseum. Ladies and gentlemen, and you got to be a member. We're pressed for time today. I know it feels like you're drinking from a fire hose. But if you can't afford to do an Amazon long, you can. Do you know what is in the XLY? And John just asked about Netflix. So here's your Netflix exposure, folks. The XLY is weighted 23% to who? Amazon. Whoever just brought up Netflix, you want some Netflix exposure? Get in here. Look at this. So if you like an Amazon and you like a Netflix and you can't stand Mark Zuckerberg or Tim Cook because they're hypocrites and limousine liberals, get into the XLY. We did this a couple weeks ago, guys. I showed you how to get bullish out to January of 2020 on XLY. How's that position? So get into this one. Okay, this is the XLY. And again, guys, I don't have a super amount of time to cover the XLY versus it or anything like that, because I want to get a current trade on, and I also want to take a look at volatility. So one of the things that somebody brought up earlier, hey Wiz, so we have currently, let me cover Amazon real quick, the existing trade. We currently have a 1700 bull put spread on out to, when is it? I did this on purpose, guys. I went out a month, right? So we put this on last week, the 1700, 1695. This is a hold. I would do this trade again right now, or I'd put on a new Amazon bull put spread. Okay. So this one is, oh, there it is. So guys, let me show you what, hold on. Let me show you what Greg did. So Greg was one of the ones that listened to me. Like, I think the dude's right about Amazon. Let me throw this up. I love doing this, guy. I'm not a huge testimonial guy. Well, I am when you guys say it. So there's Greg. Greg's been doing this, and look at this, 150 grand. It's a $90,000 gain, or $90,000 in gains with a 300% increase. And I love when people ask me, well, Wiz, is it too late? No, ladies and gentlemen, write the date and time down that I said this. Amazon, I hate it doesn't show. Amazon is a $3,000 stock in a year. You heard that here first. I absolutely think it's ladies and gentlemen, we are inoculated from this right now. The Donald Trump, Jeff Bezos, and getting a free ride on postal service, it's done. Jeff Bezos isn't a limousine liberal who talks. Mark Zuckerberg, I just want to do good. And, well, if you want to do good there, Robin Hood, take your company private. I'm Gordon Gecko. You are losing me money. I'm going to sue you. Same thing with Tim Cook. Jeff Bezos doesn't say a word. So this whole tweet storm about how it's a monopoly and shit like that, and he's using the U.S. Postal Service, he's building his own, guys. I'd be worried if I were in FedEx or UPS or a Walmart. I don't think he's putting Walmart out of business, but folks, I mean, anything that Amazon gets into, it eats it. So we have an existing bull put spread on at the 1700 level, and I absolutely think that one's great. I might, if we have time, I'll look at a new bull put spread in case you didn't get into 1700 right here at the middle of this Keltner channel. I think that's a great looking bull put spread right there. So it does, PT. It gets it done. It's a behemoth. I jokingly call it the Death Star, but it's the truth. But let me cover volatility real quick, and then based on time, I'm going to have to flip a coin with what we want to do. The VIX is down now. The market's up 70. The Dow's up 70. So we had the VIX really was, what did we hit? 19? Write this wizism down, folks. When vol is cheap, you buy it. When vol is expensive, you sell it. Let me say that again. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs are up. I could care less about JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs now. It's dead money, guys. That's exhausted buying right there. The XLF has been down 13 days in a row. That's never happened. And the XLF is up 23 cents. I could care less about JP. When something's dead to me, it's dead to me. So remember, we made our call to get out of JP Morgan this week and to get into Visa. So Visa's up nearly 1% today, or $1. So Bruce, I really, I wouldn't do any of that. So, no, we don't have a bear call spread on Goldman Sachs. I think I looked at one the other day on JP Morgan. And since it was the other day, I don't even look at that trade. Remember, I think that's a regular July expiration, Bruce. So if you're worried about a trade in a day, don't worry about a trade in a day. Let's leave it at that. VIX. So this is Al. How about Starbucks? It will come back again. Al, how do you know Starbucks will come back again? Let me know when it's going to come back again, at what price. If you honestly believe Starbucks will come back again, go mortgage the wife, the kids, and sell the house. And this is a falling knife, folks. Guys, the company came out the other week and said it was absolutely unacceptable performance. For the last quarters, they've sucked. Guys, that is not a coming back anytime soon chart. If you want to step in and catch that knife, God bless you, man. I would absolutely not pick a bottom on this thing. Al, I'm sorry. You're asking when it will come back. You ready? That's when it's going to come back. I don't pick bottoms in a stock, folks. The only people who pick bottoms of a stock are dudes that trade off the left side of a chart. Al, I'm telling you right now, I do not see a bottom in Starbucks, man. Remember, stocks can remain irrational longer than you can stay solvent, man. There's a 6-month chart. There's a 1-year chart, folks. So, Al, we've broken the 1-year low in Starbucks. And when something does this, Al, it's technical. I mean, look at GE when that thing started to implode. It's GE, for God's sakes. Aircraft engines, medical imaging, railroad cars, GE Capital, GE's and everything. It's $13 stock. If I was in, you bet, Al, if you can't even, I could not be more bearish on Starbucks. Look at the 2-year chart. We are below a 2-year low on Starbucks. Let's try a 5-year chart. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is, I don't think it will, man. Stocks go down for a reason. Until they get some sort of turnaround plan, it's dead money. Al, I wouldn't buy a put option. We don't buy straight puts here, Al. To me, it's a little boring. You could, Al. Wiz, I agree with you. There's no bottom in sight. Yeah, buy some puts. I wouldn't do that. I would do a tactic that is called a bearish double vertical, which is, I call it an afterburner trade. I mean, this thing will see incredible profits. I just showed you what Tamara has done in Starbucks. She made 325% in a couple hours on this stock. So, Al, do me a favor. At the end of this, give us a 2-week test flight, and we're not doing our double vertical training for a couple weeks, but I'll tell you what, man, you will get access to the last time we did double vertical right here, man. So you can watch this training right here on how to do a double vertical, and you can pound either China or Starbucks into the dirt, Al. It is, I don't see a bottom. Rick, did you get into another bearish double vertical on Starbucks, Tamara? People are asking, or did you close that one? Greg, I appreciate that, man. Let me save that one. Actually, I want to save what Greg said. Thank you, Greg. Hold on a second, guys. Read that real quick. What Greg said. Hold on. Let me save this. I appreciate that, my friend. So, Wiz, while Amazon is my biggest winner, there have been many more successes with my 3 years at TGO. Dumping stocks and learning to trade options has rescued my retirement portfolio. Thanks. This is why I do this, guys. It's funny because I haven't seen anybody today, but usually there's somebody trying to play stump the chump, right? Well, Wiz, if you're so smart, why aren't you managing a hedge fund? First of all, I can't stand people, and I can't stand managing people's money. I can't stand people. I've got mine, folks. In the military, we learn to put the ladder down. When you make it, you don't pull the ladder up, man. You help others. So I do this because I love it and I enjoy it. I want to teach you to do it. Nobody cares more about your money than you. My brother-in-law manages my money. He does not care about your money. I don't care how much your brother-in-law loves you. He does not. Learn to do it on your own. Guys, Tamara just said her white paper on her double vertical will be done in a couple days. Unfortunately, Tamara can't make it down to Boca for this event, but we're going to try and do our next live one up in Chi-Town in Chicago. So real quick, let me get back on our trade here, guys, because we're running out of time. But guys, this is Al. If you want, you could just buy some puts. And this thing, there's no support, folks. When you see a stock like this that has no support, you have to go back to a 5-year chart to see the last time it was at this price. It is in trouble. Yeah, we might do it in the fall, like what is it, September, November in Chicago, when it's not miserably cold. So yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and get going. So let's go ahead, Judy. Guys, I can't talk Starbucks anymore. We're either going to do an Amazon or a volatility trade. Ask in the ready room if you have some questions, and maybe we can talk about Starbucks then, or we can talk about it tonight in our training. So guys, look at the VIX. When volatility is cheap, you buy it. So the past couple weeks, we've been long VIX calls. We were long VIX calls here, popped, we got out of them. We were long VIX calls here, popped, got out of them. When the VIX popped here, I put on a bear call spread and got out of it in one day. We have been printing money on our volatility trades. So even with, you ready for this? Even with the potential for us to go down and test this 200-day moving average, I think it's going to look like this, guys. This, I'll say it one more time. This is the Q1 earnings area. We kind of had this blue collar climb off the 200-day moving average. I don't think volatility is going to be super excited here. All right, well, a lot of people are voting for Amazon. We only have time for one, guys, so if you want, I'll do Amazon. But I would look, for my current members, I would look at a new bear call spread on VXX that is out a week. And tomorrow I have a couple coaching calls with my private coaching clients, and we'll be talking about this trade tomorrow. I'd be getting bearish on this. So, HH, that's what I just said. I think we're probably going to, let me repeat this, guys. I said this is what we're most likely going to do. We tested this 200-day moving average during Q1 earnings season and eventually rallied off of it. We're going to do the same thing here for Q2 earnings. You can take that one to the bank. It's the same, and earnings are going to be just as good, if not worse. All right, well, so I would do a bear call spread on VXX out to next Friday, folks. What's that, July? Man, I can't believe it's already July. So that would be the new trade on VXX, but we're running out of time. Let's take a look at Amazon. I love Amazon. I already gave you my strategic mindset, commit criteria, and everything, so I'm not going to go through the trade plan on that because it's already done. The commit criteria and the strategic mindset. So look at the middle of this Keltner channel right here. What's that? The 16. Let's go out. They haven't posted earnings yet, have they? It's the end of July. So let's go out. Let's go out to the regular July expiration. And let's take a look at, let me just throw some, what did I say, 1630s, maybe 1625. I'll build this real quick, guys. Oh, wow, we can go a hell of a lot lower. We usually do 30 contracts. So let me just build this, guys, since Amazon is been fluctuating around since we can go, oh, wait, no, we can go higher, is what I'm thinking. Maybe only 15 on this one. And again, folks, like I said, there's a lot of people in here that, wow, that's $2,000, and that's a very high probability trade. Might even go up a little bit above this. Boom, there it is right there. All right, guys, so here's our new Analyze Your Trade position on Amazon. So the current 1700 out to July expiration is a hold, and this one's good to go. I'm going to sell 15. Why 15? Give me 2 minutes and I'll explain why 15 of the regular July expiration. Now, if you're not too familiar with options, here's regular equity options expire the 1, 2, 3, the third Friday of every month. So when you see July 18 right here, it's not July 18th, it's July 20th. This is the regular monthly options expiration. So I'm going to sell 15 of the regular July 1640 puts. That's me saying, hey, Amazon, it's Wiz on the radio, man. Yeah, what's up, Wiz? I don't think you're going to be below 1640 by July 20th, the regular options expiration. All right, man, that's cool. Well, you're being the insurance company. You're selling these puts. We're going to pay you a credit for taking on that risk, Wiz. You got it. So, well, Wiz, what if you're wrong, man? Donald Trump starts tweeting again and starts ripping Jeff apart and Amazon and everything like that, and we implode. Well, man, I never, ever, ever flew in combat, training, or in trading without an ejection seat. So I'm gonna slap on an ejection seat here, and I'm gonna buy some downside puts, the 1635 puts. So you know what, Amazon, even if Jeff Bezos comes out with a news conference tomorrow and says, I'm the Antichrist, and the stock goes to zero, it's okay. Well, it's not okay, obviously, but we're long Amazon below 1635 by buying these puts. Okay? So I'm bullish on Amazon, right? I'm using puts, and this is a spread. This tactic, it ain't a strategy, is called a bull put spread. Now, if you're new to options trading, you might be sitting there and going, well, isn't it called a couple other things? It is, but I really don't. It's also called a credit spread. We're getting paid to do this. We are the insurance company. We're bringing in a credit of about $2,000. Folks, you want to sell things. Right down the street here, Fort Lauderdale, the Ferrari dealer. The Ferrari dealer or the Wynn Resort doesn't look the way it does, folks, because they give away money because they're charities. You want to be the house. You want to sell things, okay? So in this bull put spread, we're selling it, right? We're bringing in a credit of $1, maybe let's try $1.35. $1.35. Now, if you're not a member here, I'm going to click on this Analyze button, and when I do, I want you to look at one place and one place only, and that is the sad face, okay? 3, 2, 1, right there, max potential loss. What did I say about 20 minutes ago? I have an SOP here at Top Gun Options where I don't want to risk more than $5,000 on any one trade. Okay, well, Wiz, it's $5,400. I signed for the damn jet, folks. I'm the pilot in command. If it's a little over or a little under, I got it. I'm the skipper. So this $5,400, $5,500 in risk, folks, is based on what? The 15 contracts. First of all, you should be paper trading. You should never, ever, ever put any real capital at risk until you know what the hell you're doing. And even after that, you need to probably talk to an RIA, right, a registered investment advisor, to figure out if this is right for you. But based on 15 contracts, that's the most I can lose. Amazon, literally, here's the blue line, folks. You see this blue line? Amazon can go to zero, man. We could wake up and it go to zero. The most we could ever lose is $5,500. So our risk is limited. Right? It's limited to that. You do 7 contracts, it might be $2,500. You do 30 contracts, it'll be $11,000. Okay? But this is me. This is my SOP. 5%. Don't want to risk more than 5% on any one trade. Now that I can shake my head and go, you know what, Wiz? I know my risk. I know that if everything goes to hell in a handbasket, that's the most I can lose. Now I can bring my eyes up here to Mr. Happy or Mrs. or it and say, okay, I'm risking 55 to potentially make $2,000 in what? About 3 weeks. That's a nice risk to reward ratio of about 1 to 0.37. Right? Now, using current at the money spot volatility in Amazon options, there's a 69% probability of making the full 2025. What's our break even? Well, if we're taking in a credit of $1.35, Wiz, what's 1640 minus $1.35? Well, the math is done for you, folks. So there's your break even. So we make money, folks, potentially 3 ways in this trade. Again, here the blue line right here is Amazon's current stock price. We make money if Amazon goes up. We make money if Amazon just kind of hangs out here for a little bit. We even can make money if Amazon goes down, as long as it stays above the break even. right? And then let me grab a screenshot of these trades, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to send out a copy of the order ticket. And I'm also going to send out a text alert. So if you're not a member right now, you're not going to get a text alert, obviously, because you're not a member. Amazon, what's today's date? 6/28. So about 20 minutes after the webinar here, the video is rendered, and these images are in the email, and I'll blast it out to you. But the first thing you're going to get is a text alert. You get text alerts when I enter a trade, update, want to shoot the shit with you, or hey, I'm hanging in this trade even though it's not looking good. Text alert. Real quick though, let's take a look at this is why you want to sell something. It's because of this Greek called theta. Everybody who has ever bought a car knows this, man. We all know about theta, right? Theta is time decay. As soon as you peel out of that Ferrari dealer here in Fort Lauderdale, it has time decay, man. Right? You sit there. If you turn around a block later and go, hey, man, my significant other called me and said my midlife crisis is officially over. Can you buy this car back? Sure. And they'll buy it back for 50 grand less. So keep an eye on theta right there. As this trade goes, let me grab it. As this trade goes down or goes forward in its life, you make money. Unched on the day equals time decay. Well, that's not weird. Well, the pricing just stopped on this trade. So that is on E-Trade. But guys, you understand when you sell something, you get time decay. Unched on the day equals time decay. Okay. So, Daryl, yes and no. I mean, if about 1 to 0.3 or 0.4 for my spreads, if it's anything less than a risk to reward ratio of about 1 to 0.35, I need to be in an iron condor. The risk to reward just isn't that good. So I like to shoot for this or higher. Okay. All right. Let me blast this out to people who aren't here. All our folks that are sitting in death by meeting or sitting on the beach in the Hamptons. Let me blast this out and let's get working this trade. So this is kind of what we do in our regular live trade briefs, folks. We do 4 briefs a week. This is our last brief of the week. Friday is reserved for my coaching clients and my commanding officers club and all my coaching clients. What are we in? Analyze your trade. All right, so AYTND. So I put the portfolio first. New Amazon bull put spread. And like I said, folks, if you're not a member, you're not going to get this text alert, obviously, contracts. When you become a member, we'll give you text alerts. It's the July expiry. I'm going to sell, the 1640 puts, and I am going to buy as a downside hedge the 1635 puts at $1.35 credit. This is a credit spread, folks, remember? And then I always put a range in here. I try and get filled on this trade maybe about plus or minus 10 cents, maybe about 10 cents wide. I'd maybe adjust this trade if it goes against me at about 220, and I'd maybe eject and just get out of the trade if it doubles in value, and that's about 270. So I don't have time right now, guys, to go into what that exactly means, adjust and eject. When you become a member, you will get all of that training. I'll tell you what the adjust level means and the eject level means if a trade's going against you. Before we get into any trade, we make the decision about when we're going to get out of it for max profit or minimum loss. Dan, I think the minimum to open a brokerage account at E-Trade is, or any broker, is about $1,000. And if you want to trade on margin, I think it's $2,000. So it depends on the individual broker. If you want to trade on margin, I think it's $2,000. And if you want to trade on just not trade on margin, it's $2,000. AYT and D. I also send out a quick email, not the one with the screenshots in it, because it takes me, I got a henpeck here. This goes out to people who, so it's awesome. We have retirees here who they got rid of their cell phones and they just get, they'd rather get an email. So this is the quick email. The longer one comes out after we're done the webinar here. So this is for my people on the middle of an island in Fiji. So they get this one real quick. Like I said, the longer one will come out here once I render the video and get the replay posted. Sam, really enjoyed today's class. Can't wait to test drive TGO. Did I send the alert? Al, I think I covered that a bunch of times, guys. If you're not a member, I'll send you guys the replay and the screenshot of the trade later. But I just sent out the alert to my members. If you're a member, you get a text alert right now. Men line, numbers don't. Everybody see this right here? It says analyze your trade news. So literally, my phone rang within or buzzed within 2 seconds. So the text alert goes out immediately. So Al, you might do this. Okay. All right. So folks, so my members, you guys are cleared off. I'll see many of you tonight for our spread training. If you're ready to take a 2-week test flight in the Top Gun, if you enjoyed what you saw here, do me a favor. Just go to our homepage here and scroll down, or I'll just put the link up here. So we have 3 different trials, folks. Beginner, intermediate, and advanced. This one is our accelerated retirement portfolio. It's every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. The intermediate is kind of as the name implies. This is our primary live trade brief portfolio every Tuesday. This one you get access to this one and weekly options. So I'd recommend if you like that 1-day volatility trade that we made $1,500 this week, do this 2-week test flight. Okay? So let me put this in the chat box. This is one you want to do. You bet, Mark. You're welcome. Thanks, guys. A lot of kind words. Again, if it felt like you're drinking from a fire hose, I just knock out a normal trade brief when I open up the doors to regular folks so they can see what it's like. But when you become a full-fledged member after your training, you'll get access to, for the next couple of weeks, we have full throttle training. Let me show you. Here's what you're going to learn. Every Tuesday and Thursday night, from 7 to about 8 or 8:30. So we started this last week, and I think we're up to here, bullish vertical spread. So I grab a glass of wine. I said I'm going to sit down tonight with a glass of wine, and we're going to talk about bullish spreads for about an hour to an hour and a half. If you know, folks, if you have no idea what an option is or anything, we did that, last Friday? You can watch this replay, okay? This one's a whiz. I don't know what being sure to put means. Folks, I owe everything to the Navy. I make no bones about that, man. I took the training process that took me from, a guy who's never even seen an airplane before to being a steely-eyed fighter pilot flying off the pointy end of an aircraft carrier. So we take a building block approach, and you're going to get access to all this training. I charge $495 just for this training for 9 members, and you can get that at a significant discount. So just take the trial, see if you like us after a couple weeks, and then you can get a full-blown membership. Okay, you bet, Benoit, absolutely. Celia, I haven't come up with next week's schedule. I forget when July 4th is. I'm taking some time, man. I don't think I'm going to. But I'll email it out, guys. So don't worry about that. Okay. When is it? Wednesday? Yeah, we're definitely not doing anything Tuesday night. We might do Thursday training. I'll let you know. I'll send it out. Thank you. Absolutely. You're welcome, man. Absolutely. So here's the link to take a 2-week test flight into what we do. Let me put that in your chat. Thanks. Hey, a lot of nice comments from potential new folks. I appreciate it, guys. I'm very passionate about what I do. And even people who don't like my politics. We have a lot of people who don't, I'm not going to say a lot. We have some people who don't like my politics, but they love the way I print money. That's their exact quote. Chris is a flaming liberal. We get into it all the time, but he's like, dude, I can't argue with you, man. Because if I didn't trade my politics, I'd be broke. There would be no Top Gun option. So there's the link to, if you want to get access to the training and everything right now as a full-fledged member, go to this page, and it's pretty cheap. The monthly stuff is on here as well. We have a monthly membership start as low as $195 a month, and I just showed you with one trade in one day, I more or less paid for an annual membership into this thing. So yeah, somebody just asked, can I join now and not do the trial? I think that would be great. If you join now and don't do the trial, you get access to the training that we're doing live tonight and going forward. Sam, it's refreshing to hear someone speak the truth and not beat around the bush. Sam, I appreciate that, my friend. In the squadron, in a fighter squadron, folks, our motto was respectful truth over artificial harmony. And there isn't even artificial harmony in today's country. So in a fighter squadron, in a debrief, it ain't personal. It's professional, right? It's not who's right, it's what's right. So I appreciate that, man. You'll get no filter with me, and you know, sometimes it turns some potential customers off. I got to be honest with you, we wouldn't get along anyway. So I actually posted this on Facebook the other day, on my regular Facebook page. I want to show you guys some of this, because I'm furious. The other day, what happened? 2 days ago, a veteran lit himself on fire on the steps of the Georgia Capitol. Okay, literally lit himself on fire. So let me just read what I wrote here. This is America with a K, 2018. A veteran lit himself on fire today because the VA treats us like shit. Meanwhile, illegal immigrants are going to be housed on military bases. If you think illegal immigrants deserve better treatment than our veterans, please defriend or block me. We're not friends. And somebody said something like, well, Wiz, can't we do both? No, we can't, obviously. You would think our government could operate in parallel and be really great to veterans and illegal immigrants. We can't. There are 60,000 homeless veterans in this country, and you're going to be shitting me that we're going to put illegal immigrants in military housing when we have 60,000 vets on the street. You can kiss my ass. Makes me furious. It's awful. Didn't mean to end on a rant like that, but guys, I've had it. I've had it. But anyway, other than that, oh, wow, look at all those comments. Looks like I struck a nerve. Good. And like I said, Fish, I didn't see, I think Fish is down on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, man. Fish, if you're listening to this recording, man, we're going to drink some of this Saturday night at the VIP event. So really looking forward to meeting a lot of potential new members, or actually new members who are coming in to Boca for this. Like I said, if you don't want to take the test flight, you can go to this page and get into our training that kicks off tonight, or it doesn't kick off tonight. We're doing session number 4. I got to tell you, man, whoever said that, I agree. There is a civil war brewing. There's absolutely a civil war brewing. And I got to tell you, what was it, a month, 2 months ago? The same people, 2 weeks ago, we found out the FBI, the leadership of the FBI and the Department of Justice essentially wanted to have a coup against a duly elected president. And then these people want to come and take our guns. Let me get this straight. So it turns out that our most vaunted agencies, right, the FBI and the Department of Justice, above reproach, some of them committed treason, and now you want to come for my guns? Come get them, man. I have enough for a well-regulated militia. If there is a civil war, it's refreshing to know that half of us believe in the Second Amendment, and the other half are going to try and attack you with a bong and a dildo. So, all right, guys, enough. So, I will, Rick. We're going to have a great time in Boca. Next time, I think we're going to do it in the fall, maybe up in Chicago. So it should be fun. So, all right, guys. So again, if you liked what you saw today, take a test flight. If you really liked what you saw today and you don't need the test flight, you're ready to get on board for everything that we do here at Top Gun Options, go to this page. Okay, so all right, guys, I'll see many of you in a couple hours tonight at 7 o'clock for bullish vertical spread training, and I'll see many of you tomorrow for cocktails down here in Boca. So have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless, guys. We'll see you.